In 2007, Fiona Boyd, a Scottish farmer, was attacked by an enraged cow while she was checking on a calf. The cow suddenly charged her, knocked her to the ground, and trampled her. It was a terrifying moment, and all she could do was protect her head. But help would appear in the shape of her workhorse, Kerry, who came to the rescue. Give this video a like to help it reach 10K and subscribe right now. Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. Horses are one of the most majestic animals out there, and they've become a symbol of grace and power. Whether they're galloping through open fields, trotting along a beach at sunset, or simply standing still, horses exude beauty and elegance. For centuries, horses have played an essential role in our history. From aiding in transportation, agriculture, and even warfare, they've been with us through thick and thin. But it's not just their historical significance that makes horses majestic, it's also their movements and their sheer physicality. Have you ever watched a horse in motion? It's like seeing poetry in action. The way they gallop with those long, powerful strides, their mane flowing in the wind. It's almost hypnotizing in the same way ballet dancers are. And when they jump, it's like they're defying gravity, leaping with so much elegance and precision. Another thing that adds to the majesty of horses is how diverse they are. There are over 300 different breeds of horses around the world, each with its own unique characteristics, colors, and personalities. From the gentle giants like the Clydesdale to the swift and spirited Arabian, there's a horse for every heart and purpose. And let's not forget the incredible role horses play in preserving our environment. They are not only an integral part of many ecosystems, but they also help us connect with nature in a lovely way. Riding a horse through the woods, listening to the earth beneath your hooves, and hearing the wind rustle through the leaves is a spiritual experience like no other. Have you ever ridden a horse? Tell us about your experience down below. Horses are also wonderful animals that connect really well with humans. They form unspoken bonds with their owners, riders, and carers that are deeply felt. Today's story is a great example of that. It was 2007, and it was a lovely summer day towards the end of July. Fiona Boyd was busy in the kitchen of her Castle Douglas farmhouse in Scotland. She was making some tea for her 2-year-old niece and her husband, who was working on their secondary farm a mile away. At that moment, Fiona got a call from her husband about moving one of their cows and its calf out of the paddock, where other cows were also staying as they were close to giving birth. Fiona thought nothing of it, so she put on a DVD for her niece and left some potatoes simmering on the stove for the tea. She thought it would be a quick in and out, so she wasn't worried. Something about dairy cows is that the calves need to be separated from their mothers very early on in their lives. Now, I know that may sound awful, but it's simply what has to be done on a dairy farm. This is done carefully, so usually they're walked to a special calf house, and then the mother is taken on her own to the milking parlor. This is what Fiona had to do, so she took the cow and her calf out of the paddock. She was walking behind the calf, and as they were getting out of the paddock, the other cows in there started gathering around the calf. Now at this point, Fiona was huddled in by really big cows. But she wasn't alarmed, because dairy cows are known for being very calm and easy to handle. Fiona usually just shifts them with a gentle pat and they go on their way. But as she was trying to move the calf, it was clear that the cows were getting a little feisty. This confused the calf, so it started to bellow, causing its mother to go into a panic. This triggered the cow's aggression because during calving, they become more protective than ever. So while they're usually very placid, if they feel like their calf is in danger, they will react. And that's what happened in this case. From 1 second to the next, the mom cow plowed into Fiona's left side, headbutting her in the shoulder and knocking her to the ground. Now, it's worth noting that Fiona had been working with cows for over 2 decades, and she had always felt safe, but this scared her. She knew that once someone was on the ground, dairy cows could attack together to kill, so she had to get up. However, the cow wouldn't let her. Each time Fiona tried to get up, the cow would push her back into the ground using her head. She was screaming, but there was no one around to help, so she tried to hit the cow in the face to get her to back away. Unfortunately, the cow was very strong, and she weighed 600 kilograms, or 1,322 pounds, so Fiona could not push her away. She thought about reaching the barbed wire and electric fence that was only about 15 feet away, but she couldn't move. The cow was basically straddling her, so the only thing Fiona could see was the animal's massive body over her. Fiona realized that the cow was about to crush her, and that she wouldn't be able to escape, so she gave up. She curled up into a ball and protected her neck and head by tucking it under her arms. Fiona thought that was it. But then the cow moved away. And that's when she saw Kerry, her horse, and in this particular situation, also her angel. Kerry was in the paddock, so she galloped over to where they were, and she started kicking the cow using her back hooves. The horse knew that Fiona was in trouble, so she focused all her attention on the cow. This allowed Fiona to finally move, and she cowered under the fence. As you can imagine, Fiona was bruised, and she was feeling a lot of pain in her back. She was also crying and worried about her niece, who was still inside the house. However, she was too scared to start moving. She stayed put for about 15 minutes, and then she got her husband on the phone. She waited for him to get there and carry her back to the house. Fortunately, Fiona's niece was loving her DVD, so she didn't notice anything, which would have been very scary for her as well. Fiona did not sustain any lasting injuries, and she recovered from the bruises, the cuts, and her tender back. She was afraid to go back to work for a few days after the incident, but she eventually started working on the farm again. Kerry was rewarded with a lot of apples and carrots. When Fiona started working again, Kerry was there to protect her. The horse would walk alongside her, kind of like a bodyguard, which was very heartwarming. As we mentioned in the beginning, this story took place in 2007, and the hero, Kerry would live another wonderful 6 years with Fiona at the farm until she passed away. But she lived a wonderful life, and she made a positive difference in Fiona's life. Now, while it is true that dogs are incredible companions, and they're known for their loyalty, horses are close competitors. They're also known for being very loyal, and they have a great memory, so when they make friends with humans, they don't forget them anytime soon. Even if they only see you a few times, they will remember you. And if you treat them well, they will feel a positive connection with you. So we recommend creating positive reinforcement with food and a lot of affection. To horses, loyalty means that they see you as a member of their herd. If you show them they can rely on you and you'll be there for them when they need you, they'll return the favor. This explains why Kerry came to Fiona's rescue when she was in big trouble. It's a great example of that magical bond between a horse and its owner. Just like dogs, horses are very protective of those they love. Horses are not just your run-of-the-mill animals. They're loyal, they've got an amazing memory, and they can offer love for life. Today's story is just a reminder of the extraordinary capacity animals have to care for their humans, provide protection, and even offer solace. Noble creatures like Kerry can surprise us in many different ways and make lasting impressions, which is why they should be highlighted and their stories should be shared. Do you have a story like this? Share it with us in the comments down below. That's it for us today. Join us next time here on Wonderbot Animals, and don't forget to like and subscribe.